Shalom, my name is Angelina and welcome to my little slice of heaven in Hull. Now today we're starting at home. I'm in the garden and there are some chickens who I think want to be TV stars because they were quiet a minute ago. Anyway, I'm starting at home because I'm going to walk you through some things that I'm going to talk about and that have quite significantly changed in the last 2 weeks. So here we go. Okay, I have been making some big decisions about life lately, and this little pile here is the contents of my car, which I will explain later in the video as to why that's all there. And if we just go through to the living room, I have rolled up my rug and added a baby gate to the living room door so that nobody can scoot out the front door. Okay, this is the kitchen windowsill, which now has those aubergine seedlings on, which I've turned into nice little baby plants. So let's go upstairs and see what the bedroom windowsill looks like. Okay, so these are the tomatillo seeds that I sowed. I sowed 10 and I have managed to get 4 out of it, which is a good lesson in why you should oversow. But having said that, they are part of the tomato family and I think I've just put them in too early because they're starting to look leggy. So what I'm going to do when I get back from the allotment is have a little go at just putting them in a bigger pot and giving them a bit more TLC. I've also, about 10 days ago, sowed the seeds of some peppers. That's just my first batch, and I will sow some in a couple of weeks' time so that I have a successional harvest. Now, I'll tell you what I haven't sown yet before you panic. I have not sown a tomato. I have not sown a cucumber, I have not sown a melon, I have not sown beans. I have not sown sweet corn. There is lots and lots of things that I haven't sown yet, so there is no need to panic. Last week, the local rag was put through the door. It's a free newspaper because it's local. And one of the headlines was Environmental Crisis, Hull wants to become carbon neutral by 2034. And I had already been thinking along these lines because the primary reason for getting the allotment and starting one at church was to reduce the carbon footprint of the church and of the family. So having that in mind, I had started to make changes. I did a survey that was from WWF, and it reckoned my carbon footprint was average. It gave me a carbon footprint of 10.6 tonnes and a target of 10.5 tonnes. Now I reckon that an allotmenters or grow your own person contributes a lot more to the offset of the carbon footprint. Because how much does an allotmenter reuse, recycle, upcycle and save from landfill? Even yogurt pots, they don't go into the recycling bin when you have an allotment. They become a plant pot, and that's a plant pot for years. So, having thought about our impact on the environment, we have our own eggs 8 months of the year. We buy very locally any meat that we eat, and almost every piece of vegetation that we eat is off the allotment, apart from obviously bananas. We can't give up bananas. And some shop-bought fruits. But yes, one of the major things was considering the car, whether we went car free or got another one. And here is the decision. Now, given that I have a vulnerable person at home, I'd rather not use public transport while there's a pandemic. So I have sold the big Vauxhall Zafira, the big Vauxhall Zafira, and quite substantially downsized to a Corsa. It's also an EcoFlex, which means it is even more eco-friendly as far as the use of the petrol is concerned. So I'm happy with that choice. I'm also going to use the car less. So the car will be at the allotment less, and I have invested in a tent trolley, and the tent trolley will be used to move plants between the house and the allotment when I can, and the car will only come down to the allotment when there is something quite substantial to move that can't be moved from the house. I do live about a 10-minute walk away, but it'll also help me get some more exercise. And yeah, we're going to walk short distances, so walk to local shops, walk to the allotment, and the car is going to be for shopping trips, the large shopping trips and trips to the seaside, etc. But like I said, we are not going to use trains and buses because I have a very vulnerable person. So that's my decision. I'm quite happy with it, and that's why my carbon footprint is not bad, but I think it's a lot better than the WWF says, because they do not go into as much detail about your lifestyle, how you get your food, where you get your food. If your eggs are coming from the bottom of your garden and the majority of your fruit and veg are coming from your allotment, which you grew yourself, I think your carbon footprint, you can knock a bit off that. But try the WWF one, it's quite interesting. Sorry we're handheld today, but I forgot the tripod and I'm babysitting for the next few days, so I'm not likely to get down to the allotment again. So I'm just going for it, going for handheld. But I thought, time to get back to some gardening. So let's have a look at what's been going on in the greenhouse. I have moved those flower bags from the windowsill at home into the greenhouse, inside the greenhouse. It will be sheltered enough in here. And I will also very soon be potting on lots and lots of little seedlings in here. So I'm not going to stand and fill them all, the potting on. There's some flowers, there's some cabbages that need moved on. Some lettuces that need pricking out into bigger pots. These little brassicas are doing well. But I have managed to make space for the next lot of stuff that's coming down here. It's just a bit of a balancing act at the moment because there are things that are too tender to bring down to the greenhouse, even into the greenhouse in the greenhouse. And there's only 2 windowsills to use. So yeah, balancing act. I've also bought some blood fish and bone, which it took me a while to get my hands on. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit into the top of each of these pots, and it'll get watered in. I'm not going to be much because potatoes are pretty hardy. They're growing anything. So sprinkling of blood fish and bone on the top of each pot, and Bob's your uncle. I have planted out pea seedlings and beetroot to the first bed. The Wilja second early potatoes have been planted into the pallet collar bed. Purple sprouting broccoli, that is for tomorrow's Sunday lunch. The daffodils that Elsie and I planted are coming up very nicely. And the Charlotte potatoes, I've been put in these bags and bucket here. The bucket is a 10-inch bucket that's from the supermarket. And these are bags that were bought from one of the cheap shops. I think it was B&M. Other supermarkets are available. And we'll just take you down here and look and see that there's more purple sprouting broccoli coming up. I'm very pleased with that. And now, let's go see what Jackie's up to.
Do I have to?
Yes, say hello, Jackie. Hello. Jackie's the handy person in the family, so that's why she's here today. Yeah, I'm banned from using the drill.
Yeah, you'll see why.
Yeah, you'll see why I'm banned from using the drill. But what Jackie's done, oh sorry, a bit of a, she has put the hooks in there, put the bamboo poles in, and then is going to knit them up. And then we're going to put a hoop over it. So here we go, we're going to put the hoop on top. Drum roll.
Get that bend first.
There we are. So we'll just finish doing that and I'll be back to you later. It's on. It's on. Hello.
Hello.
I'm here checking my carrots. Aren't you? You're checking your carrots. Look at us, enough is enough. There we go. The beginnings of Elsie's carrots. Yay! Ali bally bee, sitting on your granny's knee, greeting for a wee bobby to buy some Coulter's candy. So for now, take care of yourself, take care of someone else, and always remember the most beautiful thing in your garden is you.